Have you ever thought about spending time with a certain person that you really like, but before you could text them or call them, you thought about how much energy would go into the hangout, and as a result, you backed out? My name is Dr. Kojo. I'm your Hollywood mental health expert, and in this video, I'll be talking about parallel play and why this is one of the unspoken neurodivergent love languages, and in my opinion, probably the best one. I told a story on social media a couple of weeks ago about this girl that I used to date and how I loved spending time with her, but I had to separate myself away. I had to break up with her because I just didn't have the energy on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis to hang out with her. It wasn't that she wanted to do all these extravagant things or go to places that were super expensive. A lot of the activities that she wanted to do were fairly reasonable things. A lot of them were free, but they all took energy. And it made me feel like I didn't have a lot of autonomy, and it made me feel like I had to work up the energy just to spend time with her. You see the name on your phone, and instantly I'm thinking, okay, what do I have to muster up today to do all the activities that she has planned? When you're neurodivergent, a big part of your life is masking. You got to mask to fit in with the demands of this neurotypical world. You have to adjust yourself, and you know how to, through pattern recognition and just growing up around people and needing to have friends, you've learned how to mask and how to become somebody who might not be the life of the party, but you know how to get along with people and how to make friends and how to be sociable and how to be likable. All of this takes energy. That's the problem. And it's not sustainable. So at some point, you're going to burn out. And neurodivergent burnout comes at a cost. What burnout means is that you have to find a new way of living. A trip to Hawaii could help, but more importantly, a new way of living that's sustainable is what's going to allow you to overcome the neurodivergent burnout. But when you're doing things that takes energy and you feel like it's not sustainable, you're going to find yourself in that burnout. And it's going to make you avoid people, places, and things that demand your time, energy, and attention. With parallel play, this is something that kids do, where you bring your preschoolers to, pre-K or to the park, right, or the playground, and you see a couple of kids playing over here, a couple of kids playing over here. Then you bring your toddler, and they start to play with these kids. With kids, you can have a child who's right here playing with a truck, a couple of kids over here who are playing with Barbies, maybe a kid over to the left who is reading a book, and it's all good. There's nothing wrong with all these kids breathing in everybody's air and all being in this one place, right? So we're all in the same vicinity, but we're doing our own things. When you're neurodivergent and you are in a space with other people who have your energy, and it doesn't require you to entertain them or even talk to them, that's a new, intimate love language of some sorts that I'm still looking for a name for it. Obviously, parallel play is a good term for it, but I do think it's a neurodivergent love language of the highest form. Just being in a space where you can be with somebody and just exist. I'll take you back to another relationship. One girl that I was dating, I remember we did some activity. We were driving back home. We were both exhausted. I didn't have the words. I was tapped out of energy. I remember leaving this activity and driving her back to her place in Silver Lake. It was about a 25-minute drive. On that drive, we didn't say a single word to each other. And then when we got to her place, we had a conversation and everything was all good. I remember looking at her. She's in the passenger seat, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I love this woman. Wow. Because that's happened before, where I'll go on a trip with a girl and come back after the airport, going through TSA, being on the plane, all that sensory overload. And then we're driving back home and I'm just tapped out, I'm tired. And she's just talking the whole way, and I'm out of gas. I've got nothing left. I'm just tapped out. When you can be in the vicinity with somebody and not have to say a single word, it's so freeing, and it is sustainable. At the same time, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't feel like you have to explain yourself. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody, or if you're just friends with somebody where the energy is different, they want to talk a lot and you don't have the words, or you're very excited and they don't understand that you're talking about special interest. We have a imbalance of communication. We have a difference of communication, and that's going to lead to problems more than likely. But when you're neurodivergent, and oftentimes a lot of neurodivergent people find other neurodivergent people, a lot of times accidentally. You don't know that that person is autistic or they have ADHD. You just found somebody who has your vibe, somebody who is on the same page as you. But when you can be in the same space as somebody and not to say a single word, it's the most liberating experience of all time. For example, if I was here making this video and I have a couple of friends over and they're in the dining room working on some writing or just doing some work on their laptop, that for me, it feels amazing because I can be here and I can be consumed with what I'm doing and you can be consumed with what you're doing, and there's no demand, no expectation for us to have to interact with each other. Now, obviously we will. I might come through and grab a glass of water and say hey, or tap you on the shoulder or laugh about something. But when you can coexist in the space with somebody and there's no pressure of having to say something or do something or entertain them, it's so freeing, and this is sustainable. Parallel play, and I don't know why as adults we don't do this more. I just want to be clear. I know I gave 2 examples of women I've dated before in the past, but this is also for friends as well. Let's say I have a couple of friends who are in town, haven't seen them for a while. Obviously, they come over, I'll be hospitable. Hey, let me make sure you're at home, you feel comfortable. But for friends that stay over for a week or 2, all of my friends, they know that I just want you in my area, in my space. I'll give you an example. My homeboy David, he lives in Baltimore. When he comes to LA, I make sure he's acclimated. He knows where to go if he needs to drive my car, here are the keys, so on and so forth. So for the first day or 2, I'm making sure that he's at home. But if he's here for 2 weeks, after about the 2nd or 3rd day, probably even sooner than that, he knows that I just enjoy his company. So how about you come hop in the car with me as I go run errands? I may have to drive to the other side of town, hop in the car, and let's listen to Lil Wayne songs like throwback music from the 2000s. Let's talk about life. Let's just relax. Parallel play allows you to be in the same vicinity as somebody, whether you're in the same car with them, whether you're in the same living room, whether you're out in public. It allows you to be in the same area as somebody and not have to interact with them, not have to do too much. So if you want to talk, you can talk. If you have to do a couple of things and you can't really be that vocal or communicative, that's great. Hey, I got to take care of these emails real quick. You just read your book, just do your thing, and I'll be over here. I remember telling a girl that I was dating, she was like, oh, what do you want? I was like, I just want somebody who can be right here while I'm right here. It sounds like, if you're not neurodivergent, it may not make a lot of sense. Like, okay, I don't get it. What do you mean you're over there and I'm over here? You don't want to talk to me? No, it's not that. I just want you to be in my presence. Breathe in this air. Let me breathe in your air. I'll come and say hey to you. You can come say hey to me. But just let me allow myself to be here and not have to do too much. And this is sustainable. When you have a friend that you can be around them, they can be around you, and you don't have to explain yourself, or you don't feel bad for taking time to yourself. It's a liberating thing. It makes you feel like there's nothing wrong with you. It makes you feel less of a jerk. Because if you're hanging out with somebody who doesn't understand that you don't have a lot of work to say today, they may come over and think to themselves, all right, I'm not coming back again because I came and you didn't interact with me. But to us as neurodivergent individuals, it is interaction when you're over there working on emails and I'm here making a video for YouTube and social media. Because we're taking in each other's vibes, just doing it on a different level, different wavelengths, but same frequency. I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. If you're neurodivergent, you know what I'm talking about. But parallel play, this is an unspoken neurodivergent love language. And if you get it, you get it. And I think that as adults, we should do this more. Kids do it naturally, but as adults, we should lean into parallel play a little bit more and make it okay for friends to come with us while we're running errands. Make it okay for friends to come with us while we're cleaning out our garage. Or maybe I can come help you clean your garage. Just being in the same space without having to exert too much energy. I mean, what's better than that? So hopefully you all can pick up what I'm putting down in this video. Hopefully it made sense to you and you learned a thing or two. So until next time, peace out, take care, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you guys say at the end of these videos. I love y'all.